Hello and good morning to you. This is Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and thank you for staying on this dial. This is Saturday, the 3rd day of June 2023, and welcome to Point Blank. Point Blank is a news and current affairs program and airs on this Saturday on this station every Saturday from 8:15 till 10 o'clock. On Point Blank, every edition will take a look at stories in the news. We'll look at issues and we dissect the issues, and we bring those who matter into the studio to discuss all of the issues. Now, don't forget, you can listen to every edition of Point Blank on our platforms, on our social media platform. We're live on Facebook. It is Super 93.3 FM. On Twitter, it is Super News PH. And Instagram, it is Super FM 93.3 FM. And on YouTube, it is Super FM PH. And TikTok, Super FM PH. Now, if you want to be live on any of our show, kindly get across to us and you can participate from our GRA station here in Port Harcourt. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Shegun Olabi. The promise by Governor Similai Fubara to ensure better working conditions for River State civil servants is one being appreciated by civil servants in River State. Governor Similai Fubara, on a walking visit to the State Secretariat complex last week, said he was on a visit to have a first-hand assessment of facility at the Secretariat. The governor also said the visit is to enable him to assess the challenges civil servants are facing so as to improve on productivity. And the civil service is a body of professionals entrusted with the responsibility of carrying out policies of government in relation to infrastructure development and social service delivery. While at the Secretariat complex in the week, Governor Similai Fubara spoke to workers and said his desire is to see an efficient civil service in River State. Now, let's have a listen to what Governor Similai Fubara said during the walking visit to the State Secretariat.
I just finished a meeting with the permanent secretaries and the head of service, and I thought it wise and proper for me to do on-the-spot assessment of things myself. So I had to go around the secretariat to see what really is a problem and what we can do to enable and make the service easier and things easy for the civil servant. But from what I can see around the secretariat, they have issues of water, some renovation, and a few other things, welfare issues. We'll definitely see what we can do about all their problems. We might not be able to take everything. It's a big place. If we have to cater for all these things, we want the billions of naira, but we have to start from somewhere. We definitely have to start from somewhere. But it will be proper for me to say this. The immediate past administration spent so much money for the restatement or restoration of their water system. But I feel so bad that one of the complaints is the issue of water, that they don't have water. But I can confirm that money was spent. But no problem. I want to investigate and look into what happened to that money, if those jobs were done, and if it were not, whoever is responsible will be brought to book. Thank you.
And there you have it. That was Governor Similai Fubara speaking during the visit to the Secretariat, and after a meeting with permanent secretaries. Governor Similai Fubara said his desire is to ensure that the civil service in River State is productive. However, there are questions to be asked. And again, we are asking a point blank this morning, how can we ensure productivity of the civil service in River State? How can government and civil service work together to ensure improved productivity for Rivers people? What is at stake currently? And what is the current denomination between the executive and the civil service in River State? Where is the balance? And I have a guest in the studio, but to set the tone for all of this, it is very, very important for us to also note that here in River State, the head of the civil service, which just been appointed, Dr. George Weke, has also assured that the River State Governor Similai Fubara is working tirelessly as interested in ensuring that the civil service in River State is productive. With a promise of Governor Similai Fubara to improve productivity in the civil service in River State, the question is, beyond infrastructure at the Secretariat, what must government do? And in addressing the challenges of civil service in River State, what has led to the poor productivity currently witnessed in the civil service in River State, how can Governor Similai Fubara tackle this issue and ensure that civil service in River State occupy the optimal place it used to be? Again, the civil service in River State, is it in conformity with the 21st century practices? Is the civil service in River State focused and ensuring effectiveness in service delivery? I have with me in the studio this morning someone who should know so much about issues relating to civil service. He has been at the helm of affair. He was the national deputy president of the National Union of Civil Service and has ensured that accountability is in that particular sector. I have with me in the studio Prince Comrade Menele Nzidee, a reputable labor leader in River State and one who has occupied a very serious position when it comes to issue of labor and civil service union. And good to have you in the studio this morning, Comrade Menele Nzidee.
Thank you, Second. Good morning, listeners and viewers globally.
Well, fantastic. So, Comrade Menele Nzidee and I will be looking at how to ensure that civil service in River State is that vehicle where government can ensure effective service delivery, particularly following the promise by Governor Siminalayi Fubara to ensure that the Rivers civil service works. So, we'll be asking a question this morning. How can the parties work together to improve the civil service? What is at stake? And what is the common denominator between the executive and the civil service? And where is the balance? Now, don't forget you can join us on the show this morning. Send us your contribution, and you can call us. The number to call us up on 07050791021 and 081174310021, as well as 09039848244. Again, the telephone lines to call us up to participate on the show this morning as we begin to look at the relationship between government and the civil service in River State. The numbers 07050791021, as well as 08117431021 and 09039848244. And those are the numbers. You can as well send us a short voice note. Send a 30-second voice note telling us your name and where you're calling from. And send a voice note to 09059481021. Again, the civil service in River State and the promise by Governor Siminalayi Fubara to ensure that the civil service is productive. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, Comrade Prince Menele Nzidee. So let us begin with the visit of the governor to the secretariat. How would you rate that visit? Again, don't forget, that's his first walking visit to anywhere since the assumption of office.
Thank you, Second. Good morning, Rivers people. Firstly, like Second mentioned, once more, Comrade Menele Nzidee is my name, like he mentioned, introduced me. Let me first of all use this opportunity once more again congratulate the Executive Governor of River State, Sim Fubara, one of ours, for assuming the mantle of leadership of this state. One of ours again, our treasurer, our apple, our ambassador. I also use the same opportunity to congratulate Ngozi Odu, his deputy, one of ours too, former permanent secretary, and thank the governor, outgoing governor of River State, Wike, for deeming it right and fit at this time to know that the best you could offer River State and to the gift he can give them is to bring somebody from a more neutral ground, from a more recognized and reputable and respected sector of the economy globally, the civil service. I want to thank him very immensely. He is a very proactive and pragmatic person, because one of the greatest things he has achieved is to resolve the bickering, the infighting, the acrimony that would have fallen within the ambit of his political party. You can see what is happening in other states. What happened in this state in 2019, within the party fighting, infighting led to even then not producing a candidate. So bringing Fubara from a more neutral ground brings so much to bear on our state and our people and the nation. Let me also use the same opportunity to congratulate the new head of service, Dr. Wike George. You see, this first step of appointment into the service, the first number one civil servant in the service, George Wike, by the governor, is a pointer to what he have at stake. Because if you take the antecedent and what we call the record of service and the progression and the wherewithal of the current head of service, you can see it clearly that he have appointed once again a square peg in a round hole. And you can see that this first step of his appointment in service is a clear indication of where he's headed to. Again, I come back to say, like you rightly pointed out, his first outing, first official is to visit his constituency. And that's to tell you the enormous recognition, the enormous premium, the regard he has placed on his primary constituency, the civil service. And I want to thank him very immensely for this recognition and to say we are not going to let him down in all sense of it. Let me quickly correct this impression. He just came on an unscheduled visit. An unscheduled visit to the secretariat.
But again,
he will take time to have an interface with his people.
But again, he made promises.
Yes,
he made
yes,
promises
yes,
at the and he said he wants to see a productive civil service. And again, the question is, well, fine. You said it's a very commendable one. The question is, in the first place, before you can desire a productive civil service, is to find out how did we get to where we are right now.
Yes, so good. Yes, that is the right question to ask. I want to say that the governor is aware that there are two parties to this stick, the river project now, the workers and him, the government. And there's a common denominator which, factorize the two fractures now, which has to do with productivity, achievement of his vision, achievement of his mission, achievement of consolidated or what the predecessor left behind. So how do we get here is the question everybody must ask. Because if you look at the keenly, what the colonial master left for us, an institution that was a pride of the people, that shell worker will want to come into, that every other private sector will want to work into, how does it get to where we are now? Again, if you go side by side, take a review in the UK, considering looking at the institution of the civil service, is it the same thing as what they left behind?
Actually, we don't even need to look outside the shores of the country.
Fine.
If we look at the civil service in other states, and I'm going to particularly look at Lagos State, it seems to be working, but why is ours not working?
Yes, a lot of community factors are responsible. If you read management properly, if you're a student of management, this controversy about productivity and performance, there are several factors that guided it. One, you are aware with me that working environment is one of the fundamental issues. You are aware that if you come to the secretary, like he rightly pointed out, the governor is in a state of complete disrepair. And you can see the effect of that on productivity. You can see the effect of that on motivation. You can see the effect of that on what to be the goal of the government and the goals of the worker. So that is the first thing. Second issue that is mitigating against the performance of the worker in a core civil service. Second, we have 17 floor of the point block. And what leads to that 17th floor? What do you think can lead us there? It's light, functional lift. So where this thin light is absent, the lift is absent, what do you expect workers going to 17th floor will be doing? So again, the absence of light, constant light supply within the secretariat complex is another factor that is impeding productivity.
If I may come in and beg your pardon that I have to interject, of course, you were saying the same thing the governor has said, looking at the infrastructural deficits in the civil service in River State, which the governor has said, well, he would tackle. And of course, the governor also raised eyebrow concerning some issue, which is the issue of water, which I'm going to be talking to you about. But again, all of this is tied around the inability to follow through the Public Service Act. There is a Public Service Act, and there are laws that is governing civil service administration in River State. Again, have we done well in that area?
So, every law has been interpreted in the civil service, what we call the civil service rule, financial regulation. We have our rules that govern the operation of the civil service. And within the confines of the various departments and ministries that handle that, particularly the civil service, the head of service. So the issue that has to do with all the implementation is still again, but that on the governance, the governance, the leadership of the state. Because, first and foremost, what is the issue? What are the issues? How does it get to where we are? If you talk of neglect of the rules, is this the civil servant that has to observe the law, that to implement it or to enforce it? So these are the institutional decay that I'm sure this our own and is member of the system that knew it, that saw it, that observed it, that noticed it, will also be in the position now to address. There is no longer bridge between the governor and the civil service. Before other time, when you have the military governor, you have the governor elected that's coming from the other field. You know, there was a bridge. This is our own. There is no bridge. Nobody going to tell Fulbright the story of the civil service. I'm telling you that you know that it is, until he is the governor now, the accountant general of the state. He went through the crowd. So what's going to be new to him? What exactly is going to be new to? Who will tell him what? So the framework of what he wanted to is on the tablet of his heart. It's on the tablet of his heart, and so therefore, it's not going to be a storytelling. He came. That's why he came suddenly, and like he said, the issue of water. Does it need to be told? Does he need to be told? So he's aware. So again, like I want to say it again, this is one of the greatest time river people have gotten the gift from Wike.
Well, fantastic, your point there. But again, my perspective is this. Are we saying all about the civil service in River State is infrastructural challenges? What about the policy challenge itself?
Look, Segu, let me tell you about the policy challenge. Everything about the policy challenge in the civil service is as constant and it's implementable. But that, what will motivate the implementation of this service? For example, the Civil Service Commission.
Actually, I was.
How many weeks now do the Civil Service Commission get constituted? The time from when the oral commission left office and now, you saw what happened. And what is the duty of the Civil Service Commission? So the absence of the Civil Service Commission in the civil service, be it federal, be it state, you and I know the outcome of it. So it doesn't require a soothsayer. The civil service is not a rocket science. It's what with rules and regulation. Practice there. Everybody know every law that governs the civil service. They need enforcement on the service. The Civil Service Commission is restricted to 8 and above. Then junior staff departmental board in ministerial level, as they working, is this junior staff board, are they in place, are they working? I'm sure the government is aware of this vividly, because these are the impediments. It's my place, and I'm beginning to give and highlight. These are no story to the governor. Second, these are no story because it is a graduate in the institution to the peak of his career. You know, that is the accountant general is the peak of those in the treasury. Permanent secretary is the peak of those in the admin officer cadre. So these are particularly the 2 cadre or the 3 cadre that run, concomitantly. So he got to the peak of his career. Getting there is not a tea party. So nothing is new. It's aware. And we are very happy. And our heart is bleed with gladness that one of us have come to prove a point to river people. Are you going to tell me about the due process?
So again, you're saying which point has it come to prove that the civil service can work? Is that the point you're saying?
Is an automatic thing from the day it was running. Okay. We are aware, and we put it up the challenge already. The spirit is in us already. That one of us has come, and we all notice that the best to him.
Fantastic. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Point Blank this Saturday, and the civil service in River State is in focus. Earlier this week, Governor Siminalayi Fubara went on an unscheduled visit to the state secretariat. And he made speeches at the state secretariat. And one of the things the governor said is that his desire is to improve productivity of the civil service in River State. And he asked some questions bordering on the poor infrastructure, and also said his administration will be taking a look at some of those things. Again, we are asking ourselves, how can we ensure that the civil service in River State is productive, given the critical role the civil service play? And again, we are asking ourselves that what are the ways to improve the service? What is at stake currently? And what is the common denominator between the executive and the civil service? How can we ensure this balance? And of course, I've been speaking all the while with Prince Comrade Menele Nzidee, and he is an expert on issues relating to the civil service. He was a national deputy president of the Nigerian Union of Civil Service, and he has held very critical role in issues relating to civil service and civil service union in River State and at the national level. And we're looking at all of these, asking all of the questions. Now, don't forget, you can join in the discussion this morning. You can call us on all of our telephone numbers, 070-5079-1021, as well as call us up on 081-174-31021, as well as 090-3984-8244. You may as well send us a short voice note and make it 30 seconds. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and give us your suggestion. And send your voice note to 090-5948-1021. I will take the first 3 calls, and I'll come back talking to Comrade Prince Menele Nzidee. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Point Blank.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning.
Well, good morning to the just in the studio. I think it's from the question we're about to answer how the civil service in River State vis-a-vis the leadership of Simfora will make the civil service in River State to be more productive. Particular blueprint launched by the governor even before, after the election and all of that. And that particular, if you look at the sectoral focus, the effective governance to that effect. There's a section that the governor talked about reformation, empowerment, and repositioning of the civil service and all the government agencies in River State. And I believe that one first step that has been taken, a penultimate step, is the step taken to the infrastructure, which he did about 3-4 days ago. Another thing again is, if he's talking about reformation, don't forget that productivity began from the mind. Peter Drucker will tell you that a work that will be productive if actually all necessities are provided to him, which also has to do with his remuneration, which is actually the welfareism and all of that. So I believe that one.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Also, area is that
very poor telephone line there.
Okay. Let me call back.
We apologize. You may just want to call us back. Let's take another one. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Point Blank.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good morning.
Mr. Zion, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I think Governor Simfora has just shown capacity. His point of call was the civil service, which means there is a relationship between him and the civil service. So that is a clear-on call. In short, it's 100% that his relationship with the civil servants in River State will be cordial. Look at where he went to. The structure that harnessed productivity. When I heard some certain criticisms on the beginning, and we can intervene. Other governors are doing this. What has been done? He didn't answer. No. But there is one salient point I want to make during his inauguration. One of his said, don't take my simplicity for granted. You know what that means? He will be more gracious than Governor Yusuf Wike in amassing, promoting, securing the interest of River State. So I want to celebrate him for going to that structure. A lot of people have been complaining about that structure now, before now. Don't forget that structure was last maintained by Dr. Peter Odeli. From then till date, so if the governor has been to go there, that's to show that is where it's applied. So I want to ask the River people and even the civil servants to get ready, because Fubara is going to wow everybody when it comes to development.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Mrs. Zion. But again, the question this morning is beyond infrastructure, what more can the governor begin to do? And what more can the civil service do in repositioning and reforming the civil service? Because the governor has said it would ensure improved productivity of the civil service. How can we achieve this? And that's the question again. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Point Blank Saturday. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, Shegun. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning to the gentleman in the studio. Mufasa on the line.
Mufasa, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Well, for me, I've always said that potential without the essentials is inconsequential. That did I say so? Well, no again saying how fully abreast the current governor is with the civil service in River State, and for me, we understand what civil servants really need to be functional and highly productive. Now, your guest said something very salient, and I want to agree with him that for somebody who has risen through the rank and file of the civil service, somebody who has been permanent secretary as the accountant general, there is nothing that workers would need, to boost their efficiency that team doesn't know. We can take that to the bank, and that's why I'm not surprised that his first point of call was to visit the facility and to rekindle the trust and confidence in the workers, for them to know that one of their own has come and is going to better the life of River State workers. And he has said it that their welfare is going to be the priority. There are a lot of things that he knows that will be needed for them to function properly and effectively. And I'm sure in time to come, he's going to roll them out. And I only want to appeal to workers because now we've gotten a governor who is going to be, civil servants friendly. So workers should on their own know that they don't need to put in their best. Because I know that a lot of people, they see government work as, like a goat or a cow that the community owns. So nobody is interested in taking care, of the goat or the dog. I'm just saying it, try to illustrate. So they should be serious with their job. A lot of people don't come to work. A lot of them come to work late. Because they feel that, in the recent past, nothing has been happening there, that there are no consequences. They should understand that now that one of their own who understand what it takes, to function properly as a civil servant is in the block. So they should give in all their best. They should give in all their best to support this government and this administration to achieve the best for River people and for civil servants.
Well, thank you so much, Mufasa. We quite appreciate that. Now, we'll just take one more call, but don't forget, you can send us a short voice message. Send your voice note, make it 30 seconds, your name, and send us your contribution with a promise by Governor Similai Fubara to ensure improved civil service in River State. And we are asking beyond infrastructural attention, what are the things that we can do, that government can do to ensure that this very important bureaucracy of government functions effectively? What is at stake? What are the two sides? Talking about the two sides, the civil service and the government, what should they begin to look at? Send us your short voice message, 090-594-81021. Don't call the number. Just send us a short message. Let's take this call before I come back to my guest. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Point Blank.
Good morning, Shegun.
Good morning.
And good morning to our daddy, Menele Nzidee. I will say chief. My name is Mishak. I'm calling from Transamadi.
Thank you.
Mishak, good morning.
Good morning. And I want to thank Menele Nzidee for his contribution. I mean, it's elder statesmanly contribution over time has helped to calm trainers and clarify some positions, especially for those of us who are not politicians. I must thank him. He's doing a lot. Thank you, sir. Shegun, want to that I think that this administration can actually explore, bearing structure and every other thing. It's manage M&E, monitoring. Yes, monitoring and evaluation.
Okay.
Yeah, monitoring evaluation. Is a continuous management function to assess if progress is made in achieving expected results. It also helps in spotting bottlenecks in implementation and to highlight whether there are unintended effects, either positive or negative, from a governance plan or program or projects. So I think for me, this will not require money. This will not require a time frame. The SIM administration should quickly set in motion M&E, monitoring and evaluation. Shegun, if this is applied fully, I must tell you, strong management and monitoring and evaluation will ensure that everything is gotten right.
Well, very well. Thank you so much, Misha Kiyem. This is quite important. And again, I want to thank Comrade Menele Nzidee with us in the studio. Of course, Comrade Nzidee, a lot of people have identified the importance of this very, very unique bureaucracy of government, talking about civil service in ensuring regulation and management of all facets of the society as it concerns River State. And again, the last caller talked about the managing and evaluation. But one big concern is political interference, even in the civil service. And this is one thing that Governor Similai should begin to think how to deal with. Don't you think that's an issue?
Second, let me quickly correct a very negative impression about that.
Okay.
And I want the states, the world, to take it from me right here. Today is 3rd of June 2023. When you raise your family, your children, to go to school, from pre-nursery to primary to secondary to university, you intervene in our conduct and behavior and character at a certain point in life to monitor, once somebody say monitor and evaluation.
Yeah.
It is a tool used by parents at home to monitor their children, even your wives. That's what the issue of saying, Governor Wike will intervene, Governor Wike will intervene, Governor Wike will. Governor Wike didn't come to the civil service to bring Fubara to be governor, and he will not see that this is the first son. Let me tell you something, as Christians, tomorrow we'll go to church. We call on Jesus Christ to intervene on our behalf to God Creator. Do we not? He cried to intervene for our sins. The Holy Spirit also intervene. If at that level of humanity, Christ will come to, we cry for Christ to intervene. So what about the government? Government, we can not just look. He put a foundation. He put a foundation that it needs to be improved and consolidated upon. So he owes a duty to this state and to humanity.
All right,
you got to monitor and to see the progress of that agent that he put in place.
I just want us to put things in perspective. Now, when
Yes.
I talk about political interference, I'm not speaking concerning a particular interview. I'm just looking at the gamut of politics itself and its interference in the workings of the civil service. Isn't this a critical issue here?
Let me say I'm done with that intervention on the part of the governor, like it's constantly mentioned. Let me come to Rafael. Look, it is clear today to everybody that Fubra knew fully well that civil service is the major factor of production in the river project. Governor is aware of those intricacies of those, conflict of bureaucracy. What do you call political intervention? Political intervention beyond the government.
Interference.
Now, it's a commissioner is being attached to by the structure of the civil service from permanent secretary down to director, down. The raise memo, the discuss memo at the ESCO. At where do the intervention of political is the commissioner answerable to the governor, and the governor is the civil servant.
But again, you see, also in the working of the civil service, there is no political coloration. So again, when the civil service or when some section of the civil service is being perceived as not being politically or politically correct with the party in tune, that is also an interference. Don't you think so?
That is the one reason why it is a double blessing for the service and the government and the good people of River State that we got in somebody from a neutral background. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You get it right that Fubra was not an applicant. You get me? Fubra was not looking for a job. Are you getting me? Fubra was paying tax to the state government for a development pay. He has a sumptuous job. Accountant General of a state. So what he has come to do is service to humanity and the state. So the issue of interference, those commissioners that he appointed, he told them, you have one of the statements, He said today, I'm your Oga. You know, if you know the who, he doesn't talk too much. Oh. That statement that you must know today that I am your Oga is underlined. So any deviation, you will see it happen. Because this job, he was called upon to come and do it. He did. Look, Governor Wike said that he is one person who do not ask for this governorship. Are you hearing me? His job was very satisfactory to him. And it came from a neutral ground. Which structure do we use to Fubra has that we will owe allegiance to? That if he doesn't do the right thing or support him or do what the president, he will say, I won't support you again. I will call off your structure. The structure is indelible.
All right. Again, you have identified the importance of the civil service as a very unique vehicle in ensuring or marshalling out policies and programs of the state government. Again, this very unique vehicle, which we are all talking about this morning, which the governor has also said is going to improve upon, but there are a lot of parts in it that need to be fixed. And you mentioned the Civil Service Commission. Again, well, we just have the Civil Service Commission put in place just a couple of weeks ago, and it's been more abandoned for a very long time. For you, what should that particular commission begin to do now, in line with the promise by the governor to ensure improved and productive civil service in River State?
In less than no time, you see the outcome of the current Civil Service Commission. The people there, Mike, Lechi, Paul, John Nally, they are retired permanent secretaries. You see what will happen in days to come. A few times you get it, it is already in place. The Civil Service Commission is already in place, working day and night tirelessly. The only thing that the governor will need to do is what we call motivation to the Civil Service Commission, providing them operational vehicles, making sure that their offices, materials, stationaries, and all those things, the staff that were working extra time. Look, let me tell you something. The greatest productive sector of the economy of the world is civil servant. Those that are in commission now, working with the Civil Service Commission commissioners, they work 214. Those that work with the governor, 214. Those work with the commissioners, like Kelly, the commissioner for works. All those program of activities you see, they read their commissioner, and then during commissioning and then inaugurate are prepared by civil servant. Okay. They stay in the office 24 hours. The gap that is lucky is that those days they used to have what called extra duty allowance, which was key in the service and it key the morale of civil servant. The moment that extra duty allowance coming, let me tell you, in overseas, you get money as you work. The extra hour you put in, you are being paid for. Those motivational incentives are already key in the service, and it demotivates an average civil servant. Because when we take this job, we treasure it. And so when those incentives started coming in, I mean, you expect, a permanent secretary, a director, assistant director, deputy director, the other can to work till about 10. And when you want to go back, there's no pool car, pool vehicle to take them to their destination. In Shell, in those corporate, there are stations where motor car pick them from certain time. There are medical incentives. There is what we call canteens for their lunch and all that. Your average civil servant will go out to stand by 10 o'clock to go. By the time the little phone he was using is snatched away by him. So if those things are addressed, you will see the best of the worker, and that's what the government have come to identify with, and that is the bridge that's no longer going to be there between Fubra and the constituency, which is the factor of production in the Rivers project.
You're listening to Point Blank, coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and the civil service and River State is in focus this morning as we talk on Point Blank, following the desire of Governor Siminalayi Fubara to see an improved and productive civil service in River State. The governor made an unscheduled visit to the state secretariat in the week, and the governor promised that he would be addressing infrastructural problems in the secretariat. He asked some very salient questions, but in the overall, the governor expressed his desire to see an improved improved civil service, having a good understanding of the bureaucracy that the civil service is, and having been abandoned for a very long time, we're asking the question this morning: what should Governor Siminalayi Fubara do to ensure an improved civil service in River State? Beyond infrastructure, what more should the governor begin to look at? And I'm talking to someone who understands the civil service very well. It was the National Deputy President of the Nigerian Union of Civil Service, and he has held very critical position even in the civil service here in River State. Comrade Menele Nzidee is with us in the studio. We've been discussing all of this issue. But again, very big question to answer, and very good question we are asking this morning. For example, the governor talked about the issue of absence of water at the secretariat, and he said he was surprised that there is no water, no provision of water, when he was aware that there was some releases made for water. So the question is, how did we get to where we are? And don't forget, in the administration of Governor Rotimi Amechi, there was plan for civil service reform and civil service repositioning. In fact, there were series of programs that were embarked upon during those days. Again, what happened to those periods, and why do we have an almost dead bureaucracy of government, the civil service in River State? And those are the questions. I'm going to take some of your calls. We have comments coming in on our social media platform and also on our WhatsApp page. Now, you can send us your 30 seconds view. Send it to this number, 09059481021. 30 seconds. Tell us your name, where you're coming from, and drop your 30 seconds message. Let's just take a couple of them, and we'll come back to the studio talking more to Comrade Menele Nzidee. Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello, Shegu, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Fred Michael from Nkoro.
Fred, good morning.
Yes, about the civil servant issue in Rivers, about what the governor is saying, I want to beg on the governor, please, you should hear from me, the present governor, Siminalayi alive, to remember the Nkoro.
Well, Fred, please don't call the number.
One of the Nkoro's son. You should pick one of the Nkoro's son as a commissioner. Nkoro has never been a commissioner before. In his cabinet, you should pick one of the Nkoro's son or two to be in cabinet as a commissioner. Thank you very much.
So, Fred, we're not talking about commissionership, but we're looking about improving that very important vehicle of government, which is the civil service. Let's take another one. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning, Shegun. Thanks for the good job you're doing. And this is Uma from PH. For me, it's very simple. Please, let's just stop beating around the bush. Everybody in the State knows the core issue of challenge of the civil servants. Don't take the issue of welfare for granted. It has been the most pressing issue. You cannot ask somebody who is on the same grade level, salary level for good 8 years plus. Throughout the tenure of Wike, there was no promotion, no increment, no welfare for the civil servants. How many houses did you hear that was built? When is Christmas? When last was Christmas bonus paid? All through his tenure, he did not do that. The last time those things were done was under Odili and Amechi. You know, at least part of his first tenure of Amechi, he did very well to civil servants and all of that. Even while he was leaving the recruitment and all about Wike's 8 years, nothing happened. But look at the Lagos State scenario. There has been promotion, steady increments of salary, even recently I think 33%, and all of that. From time to time promotion. So tell me, why wouldn't the workers be happy? So even with the low structure we are talking about, if there were constant increment in their promotion implemented and everything, you see the motivation will still be there. But Rivers State, if you like, renovate all the civil servants, all the houses and all of that, and there is no increment, no good this in their welfare, it will not amount to anything because the workers in Rivers State are not happy.
So again,
that is the honest truth.
Thank you so much for that. Let's take another one, and we'll take two more. Good morning, and thank you. Yes, good morning.
From
Pius, good morning.
For the governor to achieve a good productivity in the River State Civil Service, it should, as a matter of urgency, employed or commence the recruitment of the thousands of Rivers youth into the River State Civil Service, and also work on improvement of the work condition, because of these two things work together. Productivity can never be achieved without a good quality of number of people doing the job and getting a better working.
Well, fantastic. Pius, one more here. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. My name is Lekia Ayarabe.
Lekia, good morning.
Just a concern regarding the productivity that your speaker in the station said. For me, I feel for you to increase productivity, first and foremost, teachers, civil servants, everybody has been clamoring for an increased salary. Okay, that's the one very important area. Not forgetting the minimum wage in River State that have not been implemented. Taking a line from Lagos State, you could see Lagos State is progressing by the day. Minimum wage has been increased. They keep opting teachers level just to make them get better results.
Okay.
So I feel if in Rivers State, first and foremost, they look at the minimum wage and is attended to, then you tend to increase teachers' wages or teachers' salary, as earlier talked about by the previous governor. If all of these are done, I think it will help in the productivity in the state.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Likia. Thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to take one call before I come back to Comrade Menele Nzidee. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. We have this call online since. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Shegun.
Thank you for joining us. Yes.
Good morning, Comrade Prince Menele Nzidee.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Menele calling from Port Harcourt.
Menele, good morning.
Well, there is no doubt that the governor of Rivers State, Sasim Fubara, will do exceedingly well in the area of civil service relationship, because you look at precedents, when prior before Wike became governor of Rivers State, judges were not enjoying the way they're enjoying, because that was his own primary constituency. Today, people ought to envy judges in Rivers State. And similar own capacity to the civil service, he has gone there to assess what needs to be done to those areas. And he has come out to say that he is going to look into it. But I want the comrade in the studio to set agenda or to identify the challenges.
Okay.
Being a critical stakeholder in the civil service business in Rivers State and national, he done very well. He should profile solutions, suggest ways and means to address such issues. Shegun, for instance, one problem I know we are facing in the civil service that I know, most of the people that want the job don't get the job, and those that don't want the job are the people that have the job. Most of our politicians' wives are working and they don't go to office. How will that office be productive? That is the focal point. They don't come to work. Some ministries, some offices, you go by 12, you won't see anybody. And you see the nonchalant attitude towards the work. People are not enthusiastic towards that work. They don't derive joy doing that work. They just get that job because they want a job. They are not doing that job because it's what they want to do. Right. So we have to give the job to those that need the job.
Thank you so much. I think you've made your point very clearly. And again, you have challenged Comrade Menele Nzidee to set agenda as a critical stakeholder in the civil service. Let me just quickly look through some of the messages we are having on our Facebook page. Chile Edwin, Chile, good morning to you and good morning to the presenter. You said, I want to appreciate the first outing of the present governor. It's obvious that there is nothing to cheer about, yet at his sentiment is all about new promises, just like happened in the past with the predecessor. As one expected that Governor Simlai Fubara would have told the civil servant when the implementation of the promotion made by his predecessor would affect it. The civil servants in Rivers State have suffered, have suffered enough and should breathe a fresh air from this government. Mostly the teachers who don't enjoy any form of incentive from the government. So you were thinking it was an opportunity for the governor to tell the civil servants when he will begin implementation on promises made by the previous administration. I have another one from Tamino Itekena Dagogo. Well, we all know that Governor Similai Fubara wasn't a level 16 civil servant in 2011 when civil servants were last promoted with implementation. So it too must have been a victim of stagnation, except if you tell me that because he is angry that he and his contemporaries were stagnated and denied other allowances, he would ensure better welfare for civil servants and state civil service, then I agree else. I have no specific expectation about him. After all, wasn't Dr. Ipalibo Banigo a former head of service? Isn't she a retiree? Isn't she a pensioner? Did pensioners fare well under the administration that has just gone? I hope it proves me right. And again, this is somebody challenging your assessment that because the governor was a civil servant, he would do well. And he said it doesn't follow that it is fallacious that the governor was in the civil service does not necessarily mean that the governor would do well for the civil service. And he gave an example that, well, the former deputy governor of Rivers State was a retired permanent secretary, was in the civil service, and yet nothing much was done. Again, maybe you want to correct that, Comrade Nzidee.
Sego, you know, there is a missing point in the whole controversy on the discussion this morning. The issue of a deputy governor must not come in here because the deputy governor or deputy of in the position is a spare tire.
No, that's derogatory. That's derogatory to the office of the deputy governor. It's not a spare tire.
Because what I mean is he only performed the duty assigned to him from time to time by the governor.
Well, that is correct. What you've just said now is correct. But the fact that it is a spare tire is derogatory.
Okay. Let me not use that word. Let me not say that again.
Okay.
I think the correct one. Now, let me say something second, and let the state hear me. This is to my colleagues in the industry. Now, all the problem you are hearing about between the government and the workers and there was a very strained relationship between labor and government then, headed by Beatrice. Now, the bureaucracy made in such a way that government is like going to the mouth of a lion to extract what is due the workers. And that is why they provide an informers a check and balance by the establishment of trade union movement. Nigeria ratified International Labour Convention 87, and that means that it is subject to collective bargaining and agreement. The problem we have within the period of time that the relationship between the labor and government was not friendly, and as a result, most of the things were left on because it is the duty of the trade union movement. Remember, these workers pay what we call check-up dues. This current leadership, headed by the NLC, the Joint Council, and we are all part of it. And we will do the best we can. And that is the issue I'm telling you about, say, intervention. Beatrice, before I become the NLC, was my treasurer of the Joint Council.
Okay,
the current Joint Council chairman was my first chairman. So what if you allow corroborative understanding, I will team up as a people, and at every time submit to government work memorandum of demand extant situation in the civil service.
I don't want to go to the realm of labor matters. I want us to stay within the ambit of civil service.
What I'm telling you in effect is that all this either no promotion. Let me tell you something. During my reign, I took over as the Joint Council chairman, civil service union. As of then, civil servant medical allowance was 50 naira. I set a machinery for discussion. Before we came to 2,500. During my reign, there was nothing like medical allowance, Christmas bonus. I said, in share, they take 13 months. In other companies, bank, they take 13 months, So what's happening? We initiated that, and we're taking Christmas bonus up to the tune of 40,000 before ODD left.
So if I hear you correctly, you are also saying that the civil servants and the civil service union have a huge role to play in ensuring the harmonious relationship.
There must be harmonious relationship between the unions and government.
Okay.
When you see government as your arch enemy, where do you go to get it from?
But again, when the governor raised the matter, and this is another critical thing I wanted to look at, because when the governor was at the secretariat, and the governor said he's so miffed by the fact that there is no water at the secretariat, and he said he's aware that monies were released for the provision of water. Again, that's a very big allegation, though the governor said he's investigating it, and those responsible will be brought to book. Again, for you, isn't that civil servants working against civil servants?
Let me quickly answer you. You know, bureaucracy is in a strata. The governor, who was the accountant general, who saw all the approval of the money from the governor, has given us a hint that he's deeply aware. This one, I'm telling you, is at the level of the ESCO, the head of service, and the finance. So, is it the duty in the office of the head of service? We used to have permanent secretary for welfare service. So, these duties and the functioning of the secretary and the rest is directly under the office of the head of service. The governor already said it. They will investigate. Is there an average civil servant to go and know that there was the approval for water provision in the secretary? He has said it all. So we want to see. We want to see that happen.
Comrade Menele Nzidee, we just have about 5 minutes more on this segment because I have to bring in our older guests. So again, setting the agenda correctly for the governor. In the next 100 days. The governor has expressed his desire to see an improved and a productive civil service in Rivers State. So again, his first point of call was at the state secretariat. But again, what would you say the governor should begin to do in the first 100 days?
Somebody mentioned civil service reform that is there.
Yes.
There should be training and retraining of civil servants to update them on the current realities.
Okay.
there should be pension and gratuity. They are doing it, let it be the way it used to be holistically. One of the things an average civil servant gets that motivates him or her, that at the end of 35 years or thereabout, his pension and gratuity is awaiting him. So that guide him. If there should be any conduct that will be negative, that will lead to either dismissal, suspension, or whatever. So every civil servant was very realistic to perform this optimally based on this package. When this package is skeletally done or no hope at all, it demotivates. Again, there should be loan and grants to civil servants, because now the federal government is saying we introduce credit scheme. What is credit scheme? The walkover. A civil servant has what we call, should have what we call a credit scheme alone. Before I introduce what we call revolving loan for civil servant, machine and all that, that program is dead on arrival now. These things should be revived. More importantly, the issue of contributive pension.
Okay.
This issue of contributive pension. The only hope of an average civil servant was at the end. You see the way it's trying to be bastardized. The governor is a pensioner. The governor is a pensioner. The governor takes pension. What I'm only advising, and we want to see more, is that, Your Excellency, review that law and bring it to where it used to be before. Again, Sego, let me say this and say it more importantly.
And we just have 2 minutes.
This is our own.
Yes.
Is aware of the whole lot of problems. I think, first and foremost, having interface with these workers,
okay,
and try to create a labor desk, either an advisor on labor or whatever, that if federal government can have Ministry of Labor and Productivity, or does he have advisor? If he have that, that should be somebody that will be interfacing between him and the worker directly. Finally,
fantastic. Okay.
Let me say this lastly. I want to call on the state, be the political, be in the health sector, that the era of running down a governor, of defaming a governor name, of trying to criticize negatively is far over.
Okay.
This governor is our own. This is his constituency. Any criticism that is not constructive and is aimed at pulling him down, it is an accountant general and came out of that. We don't accept it.
All right, let us just
we will not accept it.
Comrade Menele
we
Nzidee.
will stand and defend it at all costs.
Fantastic.
So because it's not a civil servant coming in, he was not lacking job before he came in. He was satisfactorily doing his job. So any attempt, I mean, my good people of River State, any attempt to defam or reduce this our own, we will resist it, even including going through litigation.
All right, fantastic. Let's leave it at that. Again, people are entitled to ensure criticism, and criticism is also allowed in democracy. Constructive, whatever you want about your criticism. Again, we've been talking to Comrade Menele Nzidee. He's a renowned labor union leader, and he's been at the national civil service union, and also has occupied a very critical role in civil service unionism here in River State. We'll be looking at improving and ensuring productive civil service in River State. Once again, I must thank you for coming to the studio, Comrade Menele Nzidee. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Segun.
Fantastic. You're tuned to Point Blank, coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. We'll be going on a short break. When we come back from the break, we'll be going over to our GRA station, or our GRA studio, where we have a very unique gentleman I'll be speaking to. You'll get to know him. Stay with us after the break.
Welcome to a new dimension.
Great news! The Super FM Marketing Studio is now situated in the unique business district of Port Harcourt, GRA. To advertise your products and services, visit the Super FM GRA Studio and Marketing Office on the 2nd floor, Vineyard Plaza, 88 Woji Road, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt.
Are you ready?
You can hit us up for live on-air interviews, production of jingles, commercial placement, infomercials, and so much more. Visit us at Super FM GRA Studio and Marketing Office on the 2nd floor, Vineyard Plaza, 88 Woji Road, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt. Or call us on 0915 729 0709. That is 0915 729 0709. We are Super FM.
Music for the whole family. Talk for the whole family. Entertainment for the whole family.
I don't know. This place is crack-a-lackin'.
This is Super FM.
Oh, I can hang here. I can hang here.
Nigeria's #1 family lifestyle talk and urban radio station.
Missing out on your favorite shows? Now we got you covered.
You can now download the Super FM Global app on your Google Play Store or iOS Store and enjoy the best of programs, news, sports, music, and lots more on Super FM Global app.
Stay up to date with your favorite shows and interact with your favorite OEPs on Super FM Global app. You're just a click away from a whole quality radio experience.
Super FM Global app. Be informed, be inspired, and be influenced.
Spread the news.
Hey friend, want to know what's up in the world of entertainment?
Wait a minute. Hear this.
Then tune in. It's Supertainment on Super 93.3 FM. Saturdays, weekends, 4 p.m. Come win and groove and get the latest gist in rivers and the world. My name is Buchi Ravois, and I'm your host.
Tired of the lies? Tired of the spin? Are you ready to hear the hard-hitting truth in a comprehensive, conservative, and principled fashion? Point Blank on Super FM 93.3 brings you all the news you need to know. Real conversations, real news, and one-on-one interviews with some of the most intriguing names in River State, South Nigeria, and the country today. Unbiased analysis the way you wish still existed.
They're damaging the economy of the country. I'm not bothered about whether federal government is supporting us or not. Because if you cannot protect the lives of your people, then there's no governance.
From the news that dominates the headlines to the important topics below the fold, left, right, and center busts the opinion bubbles and echo chambers with genuine discussion.